And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Expanse in our attempt to terraform Mars, Luna, and Mercury, and maybe Titan if we find enough time. Titan's actually mostly terraformed. It needs to get a little bit warm, and we need to release a lot of oxygen. At the moment, here we are looking at Jupiter. We had a little bit of a bug, which is why we did a quick reload here between parts. So it's reminding us about the Mars atmosphere thing. We need more atmosphere. Now, on to Jupiter. And yes, it has fixed the bug. So previously, when I came in here to make a mission, we were going to do Jupiter orbit to Triton. When we came in here, yes, why would Jupiter orbit, air mission to Triton. I'm not carrying people, so that shouldn't care. Okay, it'll work out. Yeah, so Zeus are here. We're gonna pick up some hydrogen while we're doing flyby. And we're gonna pick up a lot of hydrogen. Constant acceleration. And yeah, we'll just load up as we fly by. I don't know why it's complaining about the temperature being too low. We have people there, so that's not the problem. Okay. At Mars, we're waiting for more nitrogen to arrive. We got 10,000 tons of oxygen, so I can probably release the oxygen. Get a little bit more pressure from that. Atmospheric-wise, we're up to a quarter of an atmos. We'd really like to at least get Mars atmosphere done before we move on to a different planet to terraform. I think we only need to get Mars atmosphere done for the terraforming achievement. Anyway, we're making oxygen here. We're up to 4 kilotons, although to properly... Because, yeah, the big thing here to terraform is get the oxygen amount up. If we get 20% released... Oh, we've had a flip on here. It'll probably update in a moment. We got a solar mirror pointed in place. Usually this is liquid and not frozen. It froze for whatever reason. It'll probably fix itself in a bit. It might also be because I'm pulling a lot of moisture, or pulling a lot of gases and stuff out of the atmosphere, so we might have actually cooled down enough that it's frozen. In which case I should shove more heat at it. There it goes. It's starting to melt. There it goes. It's melted. The pressure's back up. If we click off, click back, this will be considered pretty close to terraformed. It doesn't mark as blue, but that's fine. But yeah, the big thing here is getting the oxygen released. Bring the pressure down a little bit, because that's going to be 0.2 atmosphere we're going to have to basically release to get the oxygen right, but we're still pulling stuff off of it anyway. Titan orbit to Mars. I just realized I got 48,000 tons of nitrogen here to transit. And then I'm not going to do resource transfers, because to do that it's going to stop at Mars. I want it to come back. So they're back, they're back. Their back is 2, their back is 4. So 4 trips. That should work. And then I actually have more to orbit, I suppose. I haven't been paying as much attention to the terraforming on Titan. Well, I suppose in this case this is getting the nitrogen off to terraform other things. I haven't been paying as much attention to that on Titan. And then we've been making more water here to drag to Mars. We need megatons delivered to be truly done there. And we got 12 engines sitting in Mars orbit. Okay, so that was our water delivery to Mars. I'm going to release 3,000 tons of water. Well, 300,000 tons of water. And I suppose I should be mining more carbon. Am I even mining carbon on Mars? Looks like I'm not. I should definitely be, because I've got, from all the collisions, I've got plenty of carbon here. I've got megatons at the 0.7 ridge. There we go. SY43870 has made its rendezvous with Mars. 23 engines ready for transiting. Okay, so we've got a bunch of helium ones that we need to figure out what they are before I start crashing into things. Water carbon. And the water carbon one's the one we're bringing in. That water one, that's water silicon, it's pretty disappointing from a water standpoint. It's only 9. It's pretty heavy for what it's carrying. What are my, the Earth Observatory has finished discovery and isn't helping. Get in on the observe game, please. Okay, water. So I think that's already a definite. Yeah, that's a definite. And you only need 11 engines, so we can definitely go get you now. Carbon mine completed at Mars. Get you back to Mars. Noble gas is found someplace. Not that I necessarily want noble gases, but if you're crashing them from an asteroid standpoint, they still count as gas. And noble gases are close enough to breathable that I'm going to say that we're going to add them to the atmospheres. You're probably next. You can be moved to the Atlas. Yeah, carbon. If anything... I'm not bringing you to Mars. I think I'm not bringing you to Mars. I've got a better place to send you. Which is, I'm bringing you to Mercury. Because Mercury could use some more carbon. And the gas won't hurt. Because eventually we want to terraform Mercury as well. How much gas is that? That's going to be, we'll say 40,000. I want to release like 10,000 tons of oxygen. And there we go. That carbon deposit will last for 20 years. Theory allowing me to make polymers here. In fact, that's probably what I should... Or polymers, or continue making food with it. Probably continue making food with it for the moment. Next up, did we find anything else in the Earth asteroids? Yeah, water, helium, noble gas. Water, helium, noble gas, water, helium, noble gas. 100,000 tons, like 20, 30,000 tons of gas. You're a definite yes. You're the one I just looked at. Yeah, you're a definite yes. 100,000 tons. Fairly light as well. Nitrogen gas instead of noble gas. Still pretty small amount. Might actually collide this one into... No, we're going to continue colliding this one into Mars. Unless it's an Atlas engine that is carbon and no water, we're probably going to slam it into Mars. Mercury got to be a little careful because we don't have... We haven't sorted the temperature yet. Once we sort the temperature on Mercury, we're going to start slamming, or be tempted to slam water into Mercury as well. Right now, if I slam water, it all vaporizes. And I don't have infinite oxygen to fix Mercury. Okay, you're the next one coming in. You're the next one I need to send out. 16. Okay, so we're going to skip that for the moment because I don't have 16 engines. You're 1, so I'm definitely bringing you in. And you're 3. Okay, back to Mars. Wait 3 days. Have the asteroid follow along. They're back. We haven't generated the water. Well, it's not going to take long to generate the water. How's the workforce looking? I have 36 more energy and about 100 more workforce. So you expand water extraction, which would probably make sense to do. It's going to slow down a lot when we move from the good deposit to the poor deposit. Well, the poor deposit's 15 megatons, right? This is enough to terraform Mars, the Moon, and Mercury. Not quite by itself, but with what we've got left to do. Right? It's more than what we need left to do. So we want that extracted, even though it's going to be a pretty penny to get it extracted. So I can add another 70 mines in power. 70 mines, however, would be 210 people. So I can't add another 70 mines in people. 30 mines would be 90. So let's add 30 mines. 1, 2, 3. Rest is of shift click, so that's 30 more mines. And that'll leave us with 21 unemployed. We'll let 7 more for that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And should be everyone employed producing glorious water. The colonial effort. Oh, and that was my Zeus returning. So we'll be outbound again. 3 engines to the next asteroid. Another collision with Mars. More gases and or water delivered. We're up with 5 megatons of water on Mars. Another collision with Mars. I'm trying to think about where I've put some of my engines. I feel like a couple of them are missing. Not because they're missing, but just I don't know where to look for them. Oh, you're ready for a return trip. So Zeus, back to Mars. Give it 3 days. And then we have the asteroid do the following trip. Okay, and then you need 16 engines. Got 16 engines ready to go, so let's get you coming in. Once we've got all these brought in, I think we'll be looking probably for an anchor for Mars. Which doesn't really need to be anything in particular. I think it's just time to get a Mars for an orbital elevator for Mars. And it probably wants to be something that doesn't, like, liquefy for terraforming. Then it probably wants to be a metal asteroid. Get you back to Mars. And pause, get you flying, and then get you on a collision course with Mars. Okay, time to move that water. Move some of that water at least. Then we plan. Let's say close you. Turn mission. We're going to stop at Jupiter. Mars to Jupiter for those 6 ships. Leave the water behind. Take minimum hydrogen at Jupiter. I'd like them to go from Jupiter to Triton. Now it's not complaining about going straight to Triton for whatever reason. And hydrogen. You probably need another one at Jupiter to handle either on cyclical or just being manual blown Earth orbit. Zeus and Jupiter. Move that nitrogen. So Jupiter orbit, we got 29 kilotons of nitrogen. Oh, that's Jupiter again. Saturn is similar, okay. The problem with the auto flight is it's doing homium transfer, or yeah, I'm not pronouncing it right. Does the transfers that are fuel efficient, not sort of time efficient. Constant accelerations are relatively efficient on the Zeus's here. So I wouldn't necessarily mind if our Zeus's were a little faster, traveling from the gas giants, but I don't want them running fastest. Fastest would be too fast. Would use too much fuel, because they carry too much fuel. But yeah, that's kind of the conundrum I'm stuck with at the moment. Oh, we got some nitrogen to release. Let's release that. Gotta bring some more in. Reach the asteroid limit. Okay. Did you move to a different patch area? No. You know, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there's the collision with Mars. There we go. Not 100% sure if it makes it faster or slower, but I think I'm going to launch more satellites to Earth orbit. So let's go ahead and crank out another 9 satellites. If it does make it faster, that should hopefully be 10 times as fast. Probably doesn't make it faster, or at least not in that way, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because these are, as you can see, relatively cheap in comparison to the super projects we're working on. Okay, so 1,444 tons of water have just arrived. So let's release that nitrogen, that oxygen, and release that much water. Now be reused. Near Earth objects? Okay. It's now 10 up there. Hopefully that makes them faster. Yep, 5.5 megatons. We want 9.5, so 4 more megatons to go on water. And pressure is rising. Granted, it fell when all our water liquefied, but back to rising again. Oh, I haven't been... No, we still have the building, although they're just about to finish building. Okay, so I need to be thinking about getting more gas extractors going. Okay, schedule those missions. Do I have the alloy ready to leave Mercury? We can combine it with what's in orbit? Yes. Okay, so let's orbit this. Then... And off goes the alloy, 1 Zeus at a time. Well, one Zeus per location, I suppose. Jupiter arrived at Mars. Okay. So let's get these building miners. More of the gas extractors. There we go. And then you go back to Mercury. Oh, and you can bring back extra hydrogen, so Mercury has plenty of hydrogen. So that when it comes time to launch stuff to orbit, we can do so. Actually arrived yet, should be arriving shortly. Mercury, Uranus, okay. Saturn and Jupiter's arrived at Mars. So I should probably send those back. I need more hydrogen to be moved. Oh, and you haven't arrived yet, which makes sense. You've got farther to go. There we go. Okay, then Mars obviously just received a whole bunch of hydrogen or a bunch of nitrogen, so we release that, release the oxygen. And then one of those goes to Jupiter. Guess there's more to pick up there in the near future. And then one of them goes to Saturn for the same reason. 28 atmospheres. Yeah, so now that we're not futzing around with is the majority of the atmosphere gaseous water or not, we're definitely beginning to have significant stable pressure improvements. Mars at Saturn, Uranus at Mercury. Okay. So Saturn orbit has another load for Mars already. More nitrogen, more oxygen. Okay, and all my collisions are happened. So let's get one of these Zeuses back out. Actually, I'm gonna send this one to Titan, because I know there's some nitrogen waiting for us there. Let's find ourselves an interesting asteroid to use as an anchor. So it probably wants to be a metal one. It probably wants to be a big metal one. I think we already looked at this one, the metal radioactive one. 13, 40 kilotons. It's a bit small. Because when we use it as the elevator counterweight, it's going to mine out all the useful metals. 840 kilotons. So as a raw metal one, that's pretty good. 30 asteroid engines. So I gotta find one of my asteroid engines, because I've got 29. I think we had 30 something that we used. So probably the missing ones are waiting where I crashed stuff last. In orbit, what we crashed last. Not Luna. Not Earth orbit. Not Mercury orbit. I didn't crash on Callisto, but it's been a while. Jupiter. I feel like I'm one engine short. At least I feel like I'm one engine short. I don't think I can search by modules. Yeah, no, I can't search by engines. Or I can search by stuff in places. I'm gonna be at Venus. Yeah, so if that's the one I want to move, I gotta get another engine. Okay, so Psyche is technically Earth orbit. That's fair enough. Orbit. Okay. How hard would it be to just build another engine? Okay, just straight up Q1 up. That works. What, round 30? Round 30. So I know where 29 is, so I need a 30th. So we'll be good to go. Now watch, now that I've built another, or as soon as the next one's built, I'll find the missing one. Because I feel like we had like 31 or something at some point. Although maybe I am wrong. I didn't have 30. That might have been the reason we haven't moved Ceres. Ceres is 32. Mars arrives at Titan. Okay. More nitrogen to release. It's the oxygen while we're at it. Venus has actually 2 loads of nitrogen, so move the first one and then the second one. Or 2 loads of CO2. It is slowly getting nitrogen as well. It's just pretty slow at Venus. Oops, I just sent that with all the fuel. It didn't heat all the fuel. It's gotten all the fuel now, so. Okay. Oh, the ship I don't think it's necessarily arrived. There it goes. So let's release like 40,000 tons of CO2 and whatever oxygen we got. I got a whole load of water here. Right into Mars. Bound, take a minute of fuel. Although we've loaded up enough on Triton, we could probably just head straight back, I suppose. Land mission, Mars, back to Triton. There and back again, deliver some water. You done? 20 days. And orbit. Okay, now in orbit I got 30 engines, and 30 engines is what we want for 4 Vesta. And in this case, these engines are not going to be available until we arrive at our destination. And they're only engines I know where I have. So we're going to Mars, but we're this time not crashing. We're going orbital. 4 Vesta to Mars orbit. All 30 engines. Take the entire asteroid to Mars. So the next thing I need then mass is on Mars. I need to mass the polymers, all the other shebang for the space elevator. Got most of the polymers actually. I need 9K exotics, 22,000 more alloys. Although I do still need more bonds. I assume most of them already. Okay, so we're gonna get Zeus load of polymers from Luna to Mars. And then from Mercury, need 9,000 exotics. Okay, still need more alloys regardless. Okay, that gets us a lot closer. Need to drag another 22,000 tons of polymer and 7,000 tons of alloy. Or wait for that to build. Probably don't necessarily want to wait for it to build. Might end up having to wait for it to build. So you don't always get what you want. Although at this point the things are building in situ, so that isn't as bad. I don't have to necessarily worry about shipping them in as much. Also, on our search of stuff. Okay, so we've searched all you, searched all you, searched all you. Earth orbit. Okay, observed everything. Have we discovered everything? Theory, no, probably because we've crashed a couple things since they were last observing. Well, there's maybe not much left besides what they've already found. We'll get them back observing. Okay, do another water shipment to Mars. Yeah, that atmosphere. Surprising how much effort it takes to fix the atmosphere on a planet. Terraforming is not easy. Okay, so we finished our observation. Earth orbit. There's one object to find, or one object to finish observing in the belt, which doesn't take very long. Okay, some more water to release. Okay. Getting 2.6 tons of water on Jupiter Day. Jupiter's actually getting a surprising amount of water in comparison to some of the other places. Mars allies to Triton. We're already ready for Triton to do another shipment, I think. Almost ready for them to do another shipment. Okay, Vesta has arrived. Bring these engines to Mars orbit. Because we're not crashing the ship at this. We're not crashing for Vesta at this point. It's going to become an elevator. I still need more polymers. Need to bring in another 19,000 polymers and another 6,500 alloy. I'm gonna have to make them in situ, I think. I'm gonna have to wait for them to build. Yeah, because I don't have enough. I just don't have enough unless I buy them on Earth or have them in Earth orbit or something. Oh, we've got the alloys in Earth orbit. Yeah, we have a Zeus in Earth orbit. Okay, let's get these alloys to Mars. I'll have a Zeus bring them over. Okay, then that means the only thing we're waiting on is the polymers. Asteroid cannot have ongoing missions. Asteroid has an ongoing mission. And an ongoing mission. That's now out of the way. Okay. So now the only thing is, obviously we don't have the polymers. It's gonna complain, hey, you're 18.7 thousand polymers worth. We're making 4.3 a day here. Team RB is saying, not that I'm complaining, but curious as to why you use another soundtrack. Does Solar Expanse not have a soundtrack, or at least one you enjoy? Copyright issues again. Solaris is so nice, just more curious. So of the two that I've replaced the soundtrack with Stellaris. This was the one that had the soundtrack issue, or had the copyright issue, and it wasn't necessarily a copyright issue. It was being flagged, and to be fair, my YouTube is not monetized yet. We don't have enough subscribers after all. But it was coming up flag, and it was like every soundtrack in the base game during the demo was coming up as flagging. So it's obviously the soundtrack used in the game by default is not made by the people who make the game. It's probably a licensed piece of soundtrack, so everything flags in this video with the base soundtrack. It's not a copyright strike, but it's a copyright flag, and not knowing why it's a copyright flag, which because we don't have the channel isn't monetized yet. It means I don't know why it's flagging. If that makes sense. And depending upon why it's flagging, that might affect whether or not you want when we get monetizing. Yeah. So that was the reason we're doing Solaris on this one. On Solar Nations 2, I haven't heard anyone do, or play it with the game's base soundtrack. So I don't know if that one flags or not. I suspect that one probably flags as well. But yeah, most of the games I try to play with the game's base soundtrack, native soundtrack, if I can. If for no other reason than it gives people a good idea of what the game normally sounds like on their end. A load of water to Mars. Anyway, so that'll bring more water in. I suppose we now need to be looking for new asteroids. Team RMB is saying the whole copyright thing is weird anyway. Like, I remember one streamer I moderate for got flagged for playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Not from Nintendo, but someone who stole the Punch-Out theme in their song, and that was causing the streamer's video to be flagged. Yeah, to be fair, I've had weird flagging on some videos before. What I think Factorio has been flagged a couple times for weird things. But usually when it's a weird flag, it's easy enough to go like, oh, well, we just mute that piece of the video. And Solar Expanse was everything, so I would have had to mute the entire video to remove the flag. So obviously on the demo run where we're running the game's bass soundtrack, and if you want to hear what the bass soundtrack sounds like in the game, you can go watch the couple parts we did in the demo. That's what the soundtrack sounds like. At some point, I'll probably take the demo run down just because it's flagged for whatever reason. But I'm having Project interrupt this. What was I thinking about? I can't remember. Ongoing mission, scheduled mission. There and back again. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I was going to be looking for new asteroids to start crashing into stuff. So near Earth. Yeah, I suppose we just keep crashing asteroids with gases on them, so the nitrogen, helium here helps. That's 13. 16. Okay, so that's all my engines from what? You're pretty light, so when we get... Oh, in fact, actually, that's 1. So that would actually work, so that'd be the full 30. 18. So we'd have to have 2 crashes for that one to go out. The Atlas can move too. Oh, the Atlas can move you. You're probably going to get crashed at some point into Mercury then. Okay, Mars orbit engines to you. And then how many engines do you want? $13. 11, 12, 13. So we got you outbound. I've actually got 2 Zeuses there, so I can do another trip out as well. 16 to the next one. It was like 1 to the one after that. Oops, did I not? I did not bring enough fuel. Whoops-a-daisy. It's fine because this is heading to Mars anyway, so I just have to crash into Mars with the Zeus along for the tow. To Mars. Okay, so now that it's back, we can get the next engine out to the next one. It's you. On a Zeus. One engine. You can be moved to one engine, so that works out. Zeus to go back to Mars. And then we get you to crash into Mars. Okay, we got some nitrogen to release. We'll release that nitrogen. Got a lot of oxygen to release. We'll release that oxygen. Mars return to Triton. So we're not quite there yet with the water for the return trip. The water rate will slow down in 7.6 years. Let's get those polymers to Mars. Go. Gonna crash on Mars. I probably should release some of that water. Terraforming. Okay, so we've got 16 more engines in orbit. What do you need? 18, so we can't do you yet. You needed 1, so I actually should have the Atlas come out and move you. Do you? Yeah, it was you. Terra asteroid. There you go. Are you 16? No. Okay, so I gotta wait until some more stuff crush before I can do any more. There we go. That was the Atlas doing a quick delivery. Oh, we have more nitrogen to release. Release that nitrogen. Release that oxygen. 0.31 atmospheres. Getting close. back to looking for good targets. So we're up to, that was actually the last one we added. So you're a target for the Atlas. And we're probably going to bring to Mercury. And then I can just release the, like, 12,500 tons of oxygen to keep the oxygen level right. Okay, so I could move that one right now. Okay. So at Mars, we have an Atlas. I would like to go to you, I believe. Yes. And then you, I would like to go to Mercury. And then Mars orbit, 13 of these go to this one. 11, 12, 13. There we go. So, yeah, so I need like double the oxygen released. Put the oxygen back in the right range. Yeah, a little bit more gas isn't going to hurt on Mercury. And we deliver more carbon. You get back to Mars. And then we want the whole asteroid to travel to Mars. Hoping we have more nitrogen release on Mars from other ships coming in. We can do a water shipment as well from Triton. Okay. And let's plan the return trip from Mars to Triton. Or forget about it. Leave the water behind and head right back. Like 100,000 tons of water released. Water is yellow. Another crash. RU-6 has been delivered. 16 more engines are available. You're inbound. You're inbound. I need 18, I think, for the two that we got marked in here. About a third of the way to perfectly terraformed on atmospheric pressure. About a third of the way. Well, it says a third of the water coverage on Mars. We're actually about 2/3 of the way in pure tonnage. Mars to Triton. Okay, so they're back at Triton. Well, it's going to be a little while before the load's ready for a return trip. 4.1 years and we'll be on the 15 megaton deposit. Yeah, you probably do it being a little warmer, and you're still working getting your pressure down, which I suppose is going to help us because I need to get the nitrogen off as well. I need nitrogen for other places as well, so. Kronos, Titan. Oh, this should be a cyclical mission because of how much I want to launch. Add the hydrogen, or not the hydrogen, the nitrogen. Wrong diatomic molecule. Oh, we've got a Zeus load waiting. Let's ship that. On the Zeus currently waiting for it. Asteroid crashed into Mars. More delivery, more nitrogen. Here we go. How many engines? I got 29 engines in orbit. Okay, so we can get moving something a bit bigger. So that's about 40,000 tons of gas, 18 engines. Or I can go for the water one. Which is the other one. Which will bring in 60,000 tons of water for less gas. We go for the first one. Both of these are 18 engine, so I can't do both of them at the same time. '21, 20, 19, 18. I think Mars now has enough for its space elevator. Yes, space elevator queued. Vesta will become the counterweight. Or Vesta. There we go, no delivery to Mars. I suppose Titan orbit has nitrogen waiting for transit. Titan orbit also has a Zeus ready to carry some, so let's do delivery. And release. And release. Water ready to transit. I should get the 6 going back to Triton. There we go. And then I can release the water. .2 megatons of water on the planet. We're at ideal at 9.6. Pressure's up to 0.34. So, third of the way to Earth ideal. Okay, you're off. And we plan on the crash with Mars. There we go. This one's technically not bringing any water along. It's mostly carbon. Another 100 kilotons of carbon. Need 18 engines to move that one. Probably move on to the next one. While I'm waiting. Inner belt, near Earth objects? Near Earth objects. Okay, so we're looking at other ones that are gas, but they are carbon, not water. 8 engines. Too bad, we can move that right now. 13's heavy, can't move that right now. There's about 18 tied up in moving something. Oh, we've already skipped over here, I think. It's pretty bad. 35,000. How light it is, that's fine. That's good. You've got gases. We like gases. It's also pretty light. I'm also full on the favorites for the moment. Favorites. How many do I have specifically in Martian orbit? 12. So you're the 18 that's moving. You're the next 18. You're 8. So we're going to bring 8 to you. Yep. Zeus. 40,000. And we're going to bring some fuel along, but we don't need 5,000 fuel along. So we do that. You're too heavy. You can move with 3, and I have 3 engines in Mars orbit. Yeah, 3 engines. Zeus. 1, 2, 3 engines. And then I do have one last engine, and the last one here is a 1 engine. Move. Yeah. Okay, all three of them have their Zeus is arriving. So I'll have them all return. No, and actually for the return trip, they can take all the hydrogen that's in their spot because they don't, like, the asteroid doesn't need it to fly. I forgot to send you with enough hydrogen, apparently. Oh dear. Well, then you'll just have to ride the asteroid in. Oh, that's also a long one. Oof. It's probably a reminder I should probably bring the stream to close because the Star soundtrack just came to close. Go ahead and start it over again for a moment. I want to finish up this space elevator before we bring the stream to a close. Okay, two ships that could return under their own power have returned under their own power. Triton's got a batch of water ready to go. Off to Mars it goes. Leave the water behind and come back. We're about to have the elevator done. Say about 600 days. So we're going to have to pass a little bit of time here. Okay, water delivered. Waste that water into the environment. Mercury could probably do with another CO2 delivery from Venus if we have one ready to go. We do. Okay, there and back again. CO2 behind. Supplies looks good on Mercury, or the Moon. Luna. Supplies look good on Mercury. Supplies should look good on Mars. We're doing a whole lot to terraform it. Two collisions with Mars, delivering hopefully more water to the oceans, as well as a little bit more atmosphere, presumably. How many engines do I have? Up to 19, so we can do the next big one. We can get EU shipped. We need 18 for that. Off it flies. Okay. Get the Zeus to return. And the asteroid engines will take the asteroid back. we go. Bit of a long trip, 2 years, but it is what it is. Okay, we now got everything in the yellow for Mars, not in the green. Quite there for another lift. If anything, I probably want to stop pulling nitrogen off of Titan, with the exception of the fact that I need to pull the, or I want to probably pull the fuel off as well. Fuel's taking its sweet time because, you know, pretty low pressure to start. Collision with Mars. We back up to 9 engines. Okay. Not sure if I got anything as small as 9. Oh, I do. That one needs 3. Oh, that one's already coming in, then. That doesn't work. Near Earth. We got both of those on my queue. Outer Belt. Okay. You would be next. 13, so we don't have enough engines for that yet. You would be the one after that. You have enough engines for that one. You're pretty heavy. Oh, and you can be brought in by the Atlas. Okay. At that point, we're going to have to do a refresh on the asteroids anyway. I think this was 8, if I remember correctly. Yep. Okay. So you're off to get that one, and we'll get the Atlas after you. Zeus make the return trip to Mars. Atlas, take your asteroid to Mars. And then we bring that asteroid into Mars as well. It's slow, but it'll come in nonetheless. So that's the one the Atlas is bringing in. Oh. Oh, and our elevator finished when I wasn't paying attention. And all the... yeah, space elevator finished there. So Mars... now, much like Earth, has a space elevator. There's the space elevator. That is for Vesta on the other end of the Martian space elevator. So Mars orbit now has a lot of silica and a lot of metal, if I need it, or anything. But yeah, so I think that's where we're going to go ahead and put the part break in. We're still working on terraforming Mars. It's taking longer than I thought it would, but at this point I think we are making definitive progress. Now that we've got the liquid oceans on Mars, we're not having like the fluctuations in the atmospheric pressure anymore, so we're reliably been going up. We're now up to 0.34 atmospheres. To get the achievement to terraform Mars, I believe you only need to get 0.55. So we're like halfway to the achievement, like 2/3 of the way, or halfway to the achievement, like 1/3 of the way to perfect. Perfect would be 1 atmosphere. And then as far as liquid ocean, we have 6.34 megatons of the 9.63 megatons released on Mars for a perfect Earth-like ocean on Mars. So we're getting pretty close, and you can kind of see the effects on Mars. We're getting it greener, we're getting it bluer. We got a little bit of an ocean down there. You can see the magnetosphere generating up. Anyway, we got a little bit of green, even away from the oceans. We got a little bit of green. So the terraforming's happening. Only one real big body of water, although in some of the other lower lying areas, you can see there is some water. I don't remember my Martian geography. I remember that from terraformers. That area comes up a lot from a geography standpoint, and that's the Valley Mariner. I'm probably pronouncing it right. That's one of the more common, interesting valleys, and then I think that's the big volcano, big dormant volcano. But yeah, the terraformation of Mars is coming along. We got everything in the yellow, and we're really just we're working on getting more water in, more pressure. We're actually going to reach the point where we don't need to bring more water pretty soon. 3.5 more megatons, and some of those asteroids we're bringing in are like 100,000 tons, so they're like a tenth of a megaton each. So we only need to bring in like another 23 asteroids, and we've got the water. Or no, 33 asteroids. Another 33 asteroids or so of water asteroids, and we'll get the water done. The atmosphere is going to be a bit of chugging because it's a lot of nitrogen. We're up to 2.53 megatons of nitrogen. Earth is 8.37, so we're working on it. It's coming along. Haven't been working as much on Luna and Mercury because we've been working on getting up more gas extractors. We're up to 2,095 on Jupiter, which is getting us a 10 tons of nitrogen per day at Jupiter, in addition to 1,000 tons of hydrogen fuel a day. If I really wanted a shortcut, I could technically drag megatons of hydrogen down and release that as well. But if I was just trying to go for speed running the terraforming, we could do that. And in fact, I might do that on Mercury, just to show you how quick you can do it if you're willing to use hydrogen as a gas. But I want to at least do Mars and Luna proper. That's why we're trying to do nitrogen. But yeah, Jupiter's coming along. We've been spending most of our alloys building up, well, the elevator for one, but building up our gas extraction. We're up to 1,612 on Saturn, which means we're extracting about a ton of nobles, almost 12 tons of nitrogen, 19 tons of helium, and 900 tons of hydrogen. And that's going to go up a little bit more as we bring more stuff up, although we're probably due for that. In fact, we probably would have done it already if we weren't working the elevator. The elevator, I think, delayed us doing more construction. 711 out at Uranus. That's providing us 3/4 of a ton of nobles, 3/4 of a ton of nitrogen, 62 tons of helium, 351 tons of hydrogen. So yeah, we definitely got enough hydrogen. If we wanted to run fusion power for power plants, we could probably do that. But money at this point is a little bit funny money. I'm making $1 million a month. So money is a little bit funny money. So we could just probably plaster everything in solar panels as well. It'd be probably actually semi-efficient. So that's Uranus. Neptune, we're up to 711 as well. That's providing us 1.7 tons of hydrogen. Surprisingly, Neptune does not give you very much hydrogen. 1.8 tons of noble gases, so it's giving us more noble gases than hydrogen. 4.4 tons of nitrogen. So this is actually one of our bigger places providing us nitrogen. And 406 tons of helium-3. So again, enough to probably run a fusion power plant if we really wanted to run fusion power plants. Triton, we've pulled all the nitrogen off of Triton. We're onto the water. We have arrived at the harder deposit of water, although there's 15 megatons here. And so that is enough water to finish up terraforming Mars, to take Luna from nothing to done, and take Mercury from nothing to done. Like, that's how much water is on Triton. So we're going to keep mining Triton. We can probably slow the extraction, or the shipping rate down at this point, because that's gonna mine at a tenth the speed it was before. So previously we were using 6 ships. I can probably get away with like 1 at this point. To get off of Titan. As far as more nitrogen, there's a little bit on Pluto. It might technically make sense to mine on Pluto. Some nitrogen. Charon has 2 megatons of water. We don't know how good that deposit is. Probably like Triton's deposit, if I were to guess. There's actually 6 megatons of water there. Proteus. If I was willing to ship noble gases around, that would work, but we're not going to do that. Trying to think about what resources we haven't tapped into. That would be good to tap into for the future. Another 1.8 megatons of water in Nereid. We were looking for more water. Oh, I just clicked on Uranus. Apparently Uranus has liquid water. Doesn't have much liquid water, but it has liquid water. And that explains why we're not getting very much water off of Uranus. There's only 169 tons of water on Uranus. There is water there, it's not a lot. Same sort of thing with Neptune. I guess the only one that has a significant amounts of water is Jupiter. Yeah, the gas is 169 megatons of water on Jupiter. So yeah, if we're getting water from a gas giant, it's Jupiter. Titania, we could do more water mining on Titania. But like we colonize Titania because it's like the body you colonize in here for an easy colony. Oberon's got some pretty decent water, 3 megatons underground. Although the underground deposit is probably pretty bad to extract from. Probably pretty Triton-like. 6.2 in Umbriel. Well, that's a surface solid deposit, so that one could probably be melted with the heat ray from the sun. Even if that one is bad. So Umbriel might be a place to come for water. Ariel, 2 megatons. Underground, though, so it's probably Triton-esque. Huck. Maybe if I needed more rares. Titan, we've actually almost terraformed Titan. We need to make more oxygen. That's what I've been trying to do instead of shipping the water here, is split it into oxygen. I might need to bring more radioisotope generators in and sort of bend them to the process. That's what we've been thinking about doing here. And we need to get the pressure down a little bit more to properly terraform it. And get the temperature up a little bit, but that's going well. Water. Another place we could probably go fishing for water if I needed more water. More water. Although, we're probably looking at a Triton-style low-quality water deposit there. Because it's underground. Dione. Probably the same sort of logic. A small, good deposit and a big, terrible deposit. Tethys. If I was willing to terraform or ship or mine bad noble gas deposits and use that for terraforming, that would be a noble gas deposit for that. Probably a good deposit of water and a bad deposit of water from an accessibility standpoint. So noble gases, water, same sort of logic. We haven't done this. Maybe another thing I should do is to send probes to all these places, get a better understanding of what's easily accessible. Might do that early next stream. More water in bismuth. I'm kind of poking around and see if there's other places where I can nitrogen. I think the answer here is I gotta get the nitrogen. I gotta get the nitrogen from the gas giants. The easiest one actually appears to be Neptune, from a tonnage standpoint. It's giving the highest proportion of nitrogen on Neptune. So Jupiter gives us hydrogen and water. All of them give us nitrogen. All of them give nitrogen, but it seems like the nitrogen ratio kind of improves as we move further up the system. So you're 11 versus Jupiter's 10, and there's actually more extractors on Jupiter than there is on Saturn. So yeah, it gets better the farther out of the system we get, as far as the nitrogen is concerned. But yeah, that's how things are going. And then we're not going to terraform Jupiter at this, or Venus at this point. Although it can be done. can definitely be done on Venus. Venus can be done. It's a lot of gas to move. I think we've even dropped it like 10 atmospheres at this point. I think it starts like 99 or something like that. Like we're working on terraforming by sucking stuff off of it, but we're just not sucking fast enough. Anyway, so this is where probably we're going to bring the stream here today to a close. I've kind of done a review of the system here. I think we'll work on sending out some probes while we're trying to improve Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Some more from an extraction standpoint in the next one. We're looking for more water, but we're maybe not looking for that much more water, right? We need 3 megatons and a bit here, 5 and a bit here, and what was it, 7 and a bit here? 7 and a bit here. And I suppose once I'm done adding more extractors, we're going to swap over to doing more solar shades. I'm not sure if that's the... Oh no, I don't have any solar sats, or any... Oh, I have one mirror. So I'm not sure if that's the mirror or the shade. I think that's the mirror, which would make that the shade. Not that that's a good place to be shading the planet. I'd expect the shade to be out here. Probably explains why the shade's not working very well. But yeah, we're getting 8.6 degrees off on Mercury from the shade. We need more. Need a lot more. Probably need to get Mercury, you know, to not be boiling. That's probably a good place to start. But yeah, so let me go over the schedule for the next couple days. So today obviously was Solar Expanse. The run will continue. Looks like we'll be putting at least another stream day into it. Although I think we're making progress. We're making a lot of progress. We're gonna have the water done on Mars, probably next one, based on our current rate of water delivery. That might actually slow the atmospheric terraforming on Mars down after we stop delivering water to Mars, because a lot of the asteroids that have been including gas have also been water-based ones. And once we hit sort of ideal water, those are probably going to get redirected to the moon. We're going to start hitting the moon with them. And then after that, it's probably going to be Mercury. Mercury's going to be held off on having water until we can get the temperature to not be boiling. Yeah, Solar Expanse today. Tomorrow, we're going to be starting up a new game. We're going to be starting up Cultist Simulator. It's going to be my first time personally playing Cultist Simulator, although I have watched one playthrough, so I'm not completely blind. Saturday will be Factorio Prenodons. Sunday is going to be Shadow Empire. As I said during the previous stream, I screwed up. The robot army has been delayed. It's coming soon. We've researched it. We just got to get the model discovered and designed and deployed. We might have that next stream. We might not. It comes down to the vagaries of the discovery system. Monday will be Solar Expanse again. So that's our 4-day window. Cultist Simulator, Factorio, Shadow Empire, Solar Expanse. At which point it will probably repeat. I don't think we're going to finish Cultist Simulator tomorrow. Factorio Prenodons is going to be months before we finish it. Shadow Empire is... Even when we finish Shadow Empire, we're going to start on the coup timeline. So that's going to go for a while. So that's our upcoming schedule for the 4 games. We're going to cycle through again. We are getting faster, I feel, in terraforming here. So we're going to probably get Mars done, and then we're probably going to fly through the next one a lot faster. Both Mercury and... Well, I think the moon is at least smaller than Mars. The moon should be smaller. Mercury might not be. It needs less water, but I'm not so sure on the atmosphere. It might actually require more atmosphere. Because it's got more gravity than Mars. Which means it's a bigger one. 3.7 versus 3.7. It might take the same amount of atmosphere. Not exactly sure how much atmosphere is going to do it. But yeah, that's the upcoming stream schedule. So I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream. And bye for now.